A lone man stands on a field of sand. In front of him is a giant scorpion-looking creature with red eyes and way too many teeth. The ugly beast lunges at the man with malicious intent, but the man doesn't seem threatened at all. He jumps on its tail and runs along it, slashing it with his sword as he moves. The monster known as the Scorpion King falls soon after by the hands of our main character, Hyunwoo, who we see walking away from the battle victorious. He is extremely bored and wonders what he is going to hunt next. The world Hyunwoo is currently inside is a game known as Arena. He is the #1 ranked player at this game and goes by the username Melee God. He's set countless records, however on this day he decides that he is going to quit and focus on the real world instead. After permanently resigning from the game, his best friend Youngchin is flabbergasted. How dare his friend stop being a nerd and actually get a life? Hyunwoo calmly explains that he can't just play games forever. Youngchin doesn't stop pestering him though, saying that he could have at least sold all of his items for cash instead of just deleting everything. The arena was never a way to make money for Hyunwoo and was just something he did for fun. He has no regrets about deleting his account, despite just throwing thousands of dollars away like an idiot. He waves goodbye to Youngchin. It's time for him to serve in the military for a while, and then inherit his father's construction business once he gets out. 2 years pass and things didn't work out as planned. Hyunwoo is working at a convenience store, making only around $9 an hour. Who could have guessed that the super-rich successor of a wealthy construction company could fall so low? During his final year of military service, the company went completely bankrupt due to his father, who fell seriously ill, and his family was blown to smithereens by the immense debt. Medical bills really are no joke. Spending most of his money to help support his struggling family, Hyunwoo is forced to eat expired convenience store meals just to get by. He wonders how much longer he is going to be able to live like this. Looking down at his phone, he receives a message. It's from his old friend Youngchin, who he has been ghosting for the past couple of years, too embarrassed and insecure to even message him back. Despite not getting replies, Youngchin still messages Hyunwoo regularly to check up on him. Now that's a real friend. The text asks Hyunwoo if he would consider getting back into the arena, and our protagonist thinks that that isn't a bad idea. Arenas are profitable lately. Streamers and pro players easily make 6 figures. Hyunwoo was the #1 ranked player once upon a time. If he can get that back, then he might actually be able to stack some bread. It's such a good idea that he even starts sniffing his finger for some reason. His eyes light up with hope. He quickly heads to the mall to buy the gaming console he needs to play, known as the Arena Cube. His facial expression changes when he realizes it costs 3 times his current monthly wage. Oh well, his father's medical bills can wait because now it is time to game. While he is looking at the console, he is approached by some blonde dude and a girl. Hyunwoo has no idea who this guy is until he reminds him. His name is Hanbik and he is the son of his father's old business partner. Hyunwoo's father is bedridden and his family is doing terribly, yet his old business partner seems to be doing great for himself. Hanbik strolls past Hyunwoo with the girl. While passing, he makes a snide comment about our protagonist's financial situation. Hyunwoo snaps back, asking how this kid knows anything about his family's money problems. With an evil look on his face, Hanbik states that everything that has happened to Hyunwoo's family was all the work of Hanbik's own father. Their 2 fathers were business partners, and the delinquent's father stabbed Hyunwoo's dad in the back after working together for decades. The little punk digs the knife in deeper, telling Hyunwoo that he should go and take care of his dad while he is on his deathbed, since he may not have long left. That was the last straw, and our protagonist hits this kid with a knuckle sandwich, knocking his ass on the floor. We can see the girl he was with in shock and the security rushing over. The security struggle to hold Hyunwoo back as he yells in rage. The reason his father is bedridden and the reason why his life is in ruins is all the work of Hanbik's family. Yelling at the top of his lungs, he says that he is going to kill Hanbik no matter what, which leads to him getting arrested. He doesn't leave the station until later that night. The rain falling to the floor is an accurate metaphor for his current feelings. Not only was Hyunwoo's family betrayed, but the villains have the audacity to go around bragging about it. Fueled by rage and hatred, he vows to himself that he will get revenge. Those feelings quickly turn to sadness and desperation though. Without money, he is too powerless right now to even think about something like revenge. A news production catches his eye. It discusses an arena player that is earning a $500,000 salary, and how the game is having an unbelievable impact on the economy. Hyunwoo is truly desperate, and this could be his only chance at a good life. He finally musters up the courage to call his old friend Youngchin, who answers almost immediately like a true bro. After Youngchin asks why he is calling, Hyunwoo says that he needs help. He's finally getting back into the arena after years away. He wants his title as #1 player back. All hell breaks loose at the arena headquarters when they notice someone has signed up with the Great Melee God's old user information. An employee communicates with an AI in the game known as Owl and asks how this new player is doing. Owl is the game character that is responsible for guiding players through the arena tutorial. She watches over Hyunwoo in shock as he has set a new record in the power application test. Standing with his fist clenched, Hyunwoo demands to be taken to the next test. He isn't here to waste time. If the arena is the only way for him to change his situation, then so be it. The only reason he is able to play in the arena is thanks to his good friend, who has let him use his arena cube since Hyunwoo can't afford his own. He is extremely grateful and thanks his friend for helping him out. He will for sure pay him back later. Youngchan says that it is no big deal. As long as he doesn't ghost him again, all is okay. Back in the arena, our protagonist continues with the tutorial, swinging his weapon in anticipation. Al has decided to give Hyunwoo a level 10 test according with his registration. Hyunwoo takes a deep breath, preparing himself as it has been a while since he has fought in an arena. His opponent stands before him, a level 10 Dark Elf warrior. The elf stands with dual-wielding weapons. Hyunwoo is only rank 1, so he should struggle with this fight. Hyunwoo seems pretty chill about things though. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. The Dark Elf seizes this opportunity to pounce on him, thinking it was a mistake for him to close his eyes. The elf obviously doesn't know he is dealing with the famous melee god. Hyunwoo blocks the attack as if on autopilot. The duel begins. The reason Hyunwoo was able to reach first place previously was because no one could match his level of control. While fighting the elf, he thinks about his recent life and everyone that has been a part of it. He is grateful for Youngchan for letting him use his console, and even offering him a place to stay if he needs it. He feels great despair for his parents, both his ill father and his mother who constantly stays by his side. And finally he feels a strong desire for vengeance towards Hanbeek. This emotion in particular gives him a lot of motivation in this moment. Hyunwoo finishes his fight with the Dark Elf, telling himself he is going to become a top-ranked arena player at a speed no one can even imagine. The employee at the arena headquarters that has been keeping an eye on him jumps up in shock. A level 1 character that was just created was able to defeat a level 10 Dark Elf warrior. This confirms her belief that the melee god really has returned. Al congratulates our protagonist. The tutorial ends here and he is now able to go into the actual game. The first person he meets is a guy named Del who is the village chief of a place called Aslan. As a reward for completing the tutorial, he gives Hyunwoo a ring containing a giant spirit which increases his strength stat. The ring glistens on his finger almost as bright as his smile, a unique item this early on. He really is off to a great start. Hyunwoo receives an in-game message from Youngchan, who has offered to take him to some high-ranked dungeons to speed up his leveling. Hyunwoo declines his offer for now as there is a specific item he wants to make first. Youngchan smiles to himself, wondering what on earth his friend could be planning to do this early on in the game. In the past there was an item all hardcore arena players used nicknamed an experience potion. It increased a player's experience gain by 20% for 4 hours. This item was extremely valuable and was sold for 3,000 gold apiece, but one day the supplier disappeared and the item eventually faded from people's memories. That's because the supplier was Hyunwoo. He's still the only one who knows how to make experience potions, so if he sold them at an auction he could name any price he wanted. He is currently trying to collect the ingredients to create one of these potions, but is struggling with the final one. He debates whether or not he should go into a dungeon to get it. When he attempts to enter one, he is stopped by a purple-haired guy who is a member of the Black Skull Guild. He says that this dungeon belongs to his guild and so Hyunwoo cannot enter. This is the only place Hyunwoo can get the ingredient he needs, so he pushes past the man, determined to go and get it. The purple-haired guy draws his sword and holds it up to Hyunwoo's neck, calling him a newbie and telling him to leave. His whole life depends on this game and he doesn't want to waste a single second. He decides to make a bet with the guy. The two of them will fight and whoever loses has to delete their entire character and start over. This guy is dumbfounded as to how a new player could be so cocky and confident. He accepts the bet thinking it will be an easy fight. Hyunwoo tells the guy to say his final goodbyes to his character as he pulls a sword out of his inventory. It doesn't take long for the duel to begin and the two players charge towards each other with their weapons in hand. Our protagonist's sword swipes just by the guy's face and he wonders just where a noob was able to get such agility and speed. Hyunwoo blocks his attacks with ease, which makes him question his own level. The guy is definitely much higher though. Then the purple-haired guy begins to think that he may have a unique item. He seemed way too relaxed earlier to be a newbie. He finally manages to strike him, but Hyunwoo stands there unfazed by the attack that hits his shoulder. When Hyunwoo strikes back, the guy seems unaffected. He must have blocked his sense of pain to not feel an attack. He admits that Hyunwoo is amazingly skilled and he grants him permission to join the warrior class. Joining this new class gives him new skills, all of which relating to close-range combat and using his sword. Before the two-part Khan throws a coin towards Hyunwoo, telling him that once he is sure of his power, Hyunwoo should go and find the owner of the coin. The coin is a new quest to meet a knight known as Lebron when he is ready. The reward for the quest is something called Lebron's skill. Lebron is someone who leads an army in the arena and is the strongest knight in his empire. A smile radiates on Hyunwoo's face when he realizes by completing this quest he will receive the skill of the strongest knight in the empire. Not wanting to waste any more time, he exits the tower, wondering why he was given this hidden quest but not complaining. The quest is an E rank though, so he will have to reach around level 50 before he is able to go and do it. By now an hour has passed and his random pet egg is about to hatch. Holding it in his hand, he wonders what he is going to get. He has been pretty lucky today, so it is probably going to be something good. Part of him wants a dragon, but another part of him knows it will be a lot to care for. He almost dies from anticipation. The egg finally hatches and out pops a cute little fluffy bear. Hyunwoo is speechless at the sight of his new pet. The bear can even talk, which leaves our protagonist even more dumbfounded. A talking pet is something he has never heard of, so it must be unique. He begins to wonder if he can earn money by making it perform. Much to his surprise, the bear jumps on his shoulders and starts pulling at his hair, demanding that he moves forward. Not happy about being bossed around by some little bear, Hyunwoo grabs it. He throws his new pet in anger, saying that it needs to be taught a lesson. The bear isn't happy, saying how dare Hyunwoo do this to the heir of buzzing sands. He then insults our protagonist, saying that he clearly never gets any girls. This only leads to the bear getting more of a punishment from Hyunwoo. The bear is currently level 5 and Hyunwoo decides to name him Tangy. Tangy wants to hang out with his new master, but Hyunwoo logs out of the game, leaving him alone after he was only hatched a few minutes ago. Back in the real world, Hyunwoo exits the arena cube taking a deep breath. He was in there for a long time today. Youngchin enters the room and asks our protagonist what he has achieved today. His friend is surprised to hear he already has a class and pet. He says that with those things he can already start preparing his streamer debut. A vacant expression appears on Hyunwoo's face when he realizes his friend is right and he starts to consider it. A job.
It's the end of this video. What? Like and subscribe for more videos.